What's up, everybody? This is Josh here from Keep It Techie, and today we need to talk. California quietly passed a law that requires every operating system, and I mean every operating system, including Linux, FreeBSD, SteamOS, to implement mandatory age verification at account setup. And this is not optional, it's mandatory, and not just enter your birth date and move on. It requires the OS to broadcast an age bracket signal in real time to every app that requests it. And the fines, they could be up to $7,500 per affected child per violation. Now, before we get into it, if you care about Linux, privacy, open source, and understanding what's happening behind the scenes in tech policy, go down and hit that like button, subscribe, and stick with me, because this video actually matters. And I don't want you reacting emotionally, I want you thinking critically. So let's break this down one command at a time like we always do. Assembly Bill 1043, the Digital Age Assurance Act, was signed October 13, 2025. It goes into effect January 1st, 2027. On paper, the goal sounds simple. Protect minors online. The law says operating system providers must require age or birth dates during account setup. Also categorize users into age brackets, provide a real-time API signal to apps, and developers must request that signal when apps are downloaded and launched. And here's the breakdown of the age brackets. So under 13, and then 13 to under 16, and then 16 to under 18, and then 18 plus. Now, if you're thinking, Josh, Windows already asks for birthday information. You're right, Apple does too. Google also does. So what's the difference? The difference is the signal architecture requirement. The OS must provide a real-time, consistent API that apps can query to retrieve age bracket data. That's not just a form field, that's infrastructure. And that's where this gets very interesting. So let's zoom out. Linux isn't a corporation. Linux is a kernel. Distributions or collections of packages maintained by volunteers, foundations, small teams, or companies. Who exactly is the operating system provider for Arch Linux, for Debian, for Gentoo, for FreeBSD? If I build my own custom ISO in my home lab, am I now an operating system provider under California law? The bill defines it as anyone who develops, licenses, or controls the operating system software. And that's very broad, really broad. So here's the deeper question. Can you regulate decentralized global open source software the same way you can regulate Apple? Because Linux isn't deployed from, let's say, one headquarters. It's mirrored worldwide. It's forked daily. It's built from source. This law assumes a centralized distribution model. Open source doesn't work like that. And that's the philosophical collision. So let's talk architecture. The law requires account setup must collect age. OS must provide a real-time API signal. Apps must request that signal on download and launch. So what does that mean technically? Let's say we're on Ubuntu. During install, you create a user. There is no birth date field. There is no age bracket. Linux doesn't maintain age metadata tied to the user account. User accounts consist of a UID, a GID, a home directory, and a shell. That's it. So to comply, distros will have to modify the installer, modify user account schema, store age bracket metadata, build an API service daemon, allow apps to query it, and restrict access securely. That's not just a simple patch. That's a subsystem. Now let's think about FreeBSD or SteamOS, or let's say a custom Arch install, or someone installing Alpine Linux inside a container, because containers don't have account setup in that sense. So now what? Does Docker need age verification? Does Podman? Like, where does this stop? Let's simulate what compliance might look like. So imagine we create a logical age signal service. So let's go make dir under our etc directory, and then let's create a folder called age-signal and press enter. And then let's go into that folder. So let's go cd under etc and then age signal and press enter. Let's get under there. And then Let's also create a file. Let's go echo, and then let's put in that file, let's say an age. So let's create an 18 plus for this system, for the person that's using this system. And then let's pipe that into a file in this directory. So let's go sudo t, and then within this directory, we can create a file called brackets. Boom. And that should be good. And that'll create our file there, and we get ls just to show that it's there. So as you can see, it wrote 18 plus in that file called bracket. Now let's create an API server right fast. We can use Python for that. So let's go Python 3, and probably gotta use sudo because everything under here is owned by roots. And then -m, let's just create an AP server, and let's put it on port 8080, that's fine. And let's press enter, and that'll serve out our site. So let's open up another terminal, and let's just look at this like another API server that's pulling this, or an application that's verifying the age on the server. So let's just run a curl command. We can go localhost, and then we can go port 8080, and then we could go / bracket and press enter, and I'll let them know that it's 18 plus. Now that's oversimplified, but you kind of get that idea. Now here's the issue with this. Any user with root access can easily modify that file, just like I created it. And this is Linux by default. So like I said, if you want to change, that age bracket, all you have to do is go in here and type sudo nano, and then the bracket file. And you can go in there and make changes to that file. Simple. So how does the state enforce integrity? Also secure enclave, signed metadata, TPM validation. Now we're talking about DRM style architecture baked into the OS. That's a completely different philosophical direction for open source. And here's the real tension. To enforce age verification meaningfully, you need trust boundaries. Linux assumes user sovereignty. Those are opposites. Now let's slow down and be fair. The stated purpose is protecting minors. That's a legitimate goal. Nobody here is arguing children should be exposed to harmful content. But here are the concerns. Number one, privacy architecture. Even if the signal only shares age bracket, you now have centralized OS level age metadata. Also API endpoints, potential logging. Also cross-app consistency. That's fingerprinting territory. Even if the law says minimum data, implementation matters. Now, Linux is global. Mirrors exist worldwide. ISOs are downloaded peer-to-peer. Does California block downloads at the ISP level? Do they find Debian maintainers in Europe? Or does compliance only realistically apply to Apple, Microsoft, and Google, and leave open source in a legal gray space? So that makes you wonder the enforcement reality of the whole situation. Now, the fines are per affected child. If you're a solo developer with a niche app and you fail to request a signal properly, are you risking thousands per violation? That right there will slow down innovation. Not because devs are malicious, but because compliance overhead becomes existential, meaning it's not really worth it. Now, one BSD project reportedly responded by banning California from its license terms. That sounds dramatic, but it shows frustration. Open source thrives on voluntary contributions, not regulatory pressure. And Colorado is drafting a similar bill. Both parties supported this unanimously. That's the bigger picture here. This isn't left versus right. This is governments globally moving towards mandatory digital age gating. The UK has similar efforts. The UE has digital services frameworks. This is a trend. And the question is not whether governments want age verification. The question is whether operating systems are the correct enforcement layer. So what should you do? First, don't panic. This law doesn't take effect until January 1st, 2027. Second, understand your threat model. If you're a Linux user in California, this does not mean your Arch install stops working tomorrow. If you're a developer, start watching how major distros respond. If Red Hat, Canonical, SUSE implements age APIs, that may set precedent. If they don't, that's telling you something. If you're building apps, architecture code to separate identity from age logic. Don't hard code assumptions. If you're passionate about this issue, engage constructively. Policy evolves. Newsom himself admitted in his signaling statement, the law isn't finished. This means there's room for interpretation, modification, legal challenges, and open source has survived export restrictions, crypto wars, patent battles. It has always adapted. So let me leave you with this. Technology moves fast. Policy always moves slow. When policy tries to regulate infrastructure layers it doesn't fully understand, friction happens. Sometimes that friction produces better safeguards. Sometimes it produces unintended consequences. Linux was built on the idea that users control their systems. Age verification APIs push in the opposite direction, towards centralized signaling and compliance enforcement. That doesn't mean protecting kids is wrong. It means we need smarter implementation layers. Should age verification live at the OS level, or at the app level, or at the network level? Or should privacy by default models reduce harm without requiring identity signals at all? These are architectural questions, and architecture shapes freedom. So I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to encourage you to think deeply, because the next few years are going to define how open computing survives in a regulated world. Now, if you found this video helpful, go down and hit that like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below. Do you think this law is unenforceable? Do you think Linux should comply? Or do you think this is the beginning of something bigger? Of course, this is Josh from Keep It Techie, and we're going to keep learning Linux and navigating the future of tech one command at a time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as I always say, keep it techie. Yo, what's up, y'all? Listen, if you've been sitting there thinking about making a move, let me tell you, tech is where it's at. I don't care where you're coming from, whether you've got a degree, a GED, or just pure hustle. There's room for you in this game. You see, tech is more than just keyboards and code. It's solving problems, creating opportunities, and building the future. You already have what it takes, because tech doesn't care where you start. It cares where you're willing to go. You can teach yourself Linux, learn Python, break into cybersecurity, or even launch your own app. And the resources are out here for free. And yes, you heard me, free. Now, yeah, it's gonna take effort. You'll have to grind, but think about this. The time is gonna pass anyway. So why not invest it in a skill that'll change your life? Tech doesn't just pay the bills, it opens doors to freedom, stability, and generational wealth. So stop doubting yourself, start small, stay consistent, and keep building. Because this isn't just a career, it's a movement. And guess what? You belong here. So let's get it, because the future is yours to build. Keep it techie.